Hey guys, this is Troy from TroyPoint.com, and in this video, I will show you how to supercharge the new Walmart Onn 4K Plus Android TV streaming device. You can find my review for this new $30 box on my website, and I will link to that in the video notes along with everything else that I reference in this video. Now, I did a factory reset on this Onn 4K Plus, so I can go through the entire setup process for you. Along the way, I will be providing important tips and tricks that will leave you with a supercharged streaming powerhouse. Now you're going to see here right off the bat, we are greeted with the pair your remote screen. So I'm going to hold down on the back button and home button at the same time for 5 seconds. Pairing has been successful. I'm going to choose English, United States. Now, there's a couple different ways you can set this up. You can do this with your phone by scanning this QR code, or at the bottom there, you can press the down arrow on the D-pad of the remote and then click Manual Setup, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, it's asking me to select my Wi-Fi network. Now, I'm going to type in the password for the network. All right, I'm connected to the internet, and now I'm going to input my Google credentials so I can log into the device. This is where you want to type in your Gmail address or phone number, and then you're going to input your password. Now, a little tip here, if you want to capitalize a letter, all you need to do is highlight it, hold down on the OK button of the remote for a few seconds, and then you can choose the capital letter you want to use. And the same is true for the special symbols at the top. I've got the 2 highlighted, hold down on the OK button for a few seconds, and then I can choose the @ symbol. Okay, I'm going to accept the terms of service. Now, I usually leave everything on except for this right here, help improve Google TV. I don't want to be sending information to Google on a regular basis, so I turn that off. Back button on my remote a few times, move down, click accept. Search across all of your apps. Yes, I want to allow that. Activate voice match. I agree. Get personal results turn on. And a lot of that's not going to pertain to me because I'm going to be using a third-party launcher without all the advertising of the streaming services that I never use. I'll show how to set that up here in a little bit. Okay, it's asking me where I have this box located, and I'm going to choose Office. If you have a subscription to any of these services, you can go ahead and check those now. I don't, so I'm just going to click Confirm. Okay, now I'm going to pair the remote with my television. I'm going to choose the brand of TV I'm using. I do have a Samsung. I'm going to hit Next, and now I can hear the audio in the background. Now I'm going to press the up button for volume on the remote a few times. For me, it did not do anything. So I'm going to click No, and it's just going to cycle through these codes until it works. Now it's working. You can hear in the background the volume is increasing. You don't see the dialogue on the screen due to the fact that my screen capture device does not record that, but it is working, so I'm going to click Yes. Now we're going to configure the power button. Press the power button once. Now my screen did turn off. You're supposed to wait approximately 8 seconds and then turn it back on. And then once you find a code that works for the power button, you'll choose Yes. And it says the Onn 4K Plus streaming's remote is set up. Next. Now, it's important to note during this setup process, more than likely you will be presented with an update that may take a while. The reason I'm not getting that is because I already got it. I did a factory reset, but that update is still there. And here you can go through these different options if you'd like. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit Go to Google TV, and now we have the familiar Google TV interface. Now, something else I want to mention is more than likely you're also going to eventually see an update for your remote control, and you'll usually see that in the notes down here. Just click it and it will update the remote. It may take a few minutes for that to show up, so just be patient, but eventually, more than likely, you're going to see that. Okay, the first thing I want to do is go into settings by going to the gear icon, click all settings. And I do want to check for updates one more time, and this is just a good way to show you where this is. You go into System, About, and then System Update. And you will see we are currently up to date. Now, this is also the location. If you ever need to do a factory reset, you can do it right from here. Keep in mind when you do this, it erases everything off your device and it puts it back to factory default settings, exactly how you got it when you first took it out of the box. Okay, now that I'm in About, I'm going to move down. I want to highlight Android TV OS build and click it 7 times. This is going to enable developer options. You'll see there it says you are now a developer. Back button on my remote. Go into developer options. Now I want to turn on USB debugging, and you're going to see why here in a little bit. I'm going to enable a third-party launcher, and we need this here enabled to do that. Okay, I'm also going to move down, and I'm going to change all of these from 1 to 0.5. It's going to make the screen transitions faster, as well as the menu transitions. And that's the only changes I'm going to make in developer options. Now, in my past tutorials, many times I would turn on force allow apps on external. Unfortunately, as of this time, peripheral devices are not working with the Onn 4K Plus. I tried using an OTG-C connector to add a USB drive and an Ethernet adapter, and unfortunately it didn't recognize either of those. Now a future update may fix that, but it could also be Onn's way of enticing you to purchase the Onn 4K Pro, which does come with a USB port and an Ethernet port on the device. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main settings page by clicking the back button on my remote. Now I want to go into apps. I'm going to go into security, and I want to turn off scan apps with Play Protect. And the reason I'm doing this is because I will be side-loading quite a few applications onto this device. Play Protect does not like those applications. Okay, back to the home screen. Now I'm going to hold down on the microphone button on my remote and say, Open Google Play.
Okay.
And there's 2 applications I want to install within Google Play. I'm going to go to Search, hit the microphone button, click while using the app, Downloader. Now, unfortunately, you're going to notice there's some downloader imposters out there. You want to stay away from these. The one you want is Downloader by AFTV News. I'm going to click Install. Okay, that's been installed. Back button on my remote. Back up to the microphone button. TV Quick Actions Pro. Now, this is an application that costs $4. You can install it on all of your Android TV devices for that $4 fee. Now, the reason I use this app is to remap various buttons on the remote control and enable mouse toggle. I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. I use this on all of my streaming devices. Again, it's just a one-time payment of $4. TV Quick Actions Pro is installed. Back to the home screen. Now I'm going to move down and I'm going to launch the Downloader app. Click OK. Up button on my remote, that will put the cursor in the URL box. Click the OK button again. Go to numbers, and I'm going to type in 250931. That secret code will open the free TroyPoint toolbox. 250931, click Go. All right, the toolbox has loaded. Now, I have dozens of free applications in this area that aren't available within Google Play Store. And I use this for most of my tutorials, so I am going to mark this page as a favorite. I suggest you do the same. Simply hold down on the OK button of your remote for a few seconds, click Add Current Page to Favorites, save. Now in the future, when you come into Downloader, you can simply go to Favorites, click Troy Point Toolbox, and you don't have to wait for the 5-second load screen. Okay, for this tutorial, there's only a few applications I'm going to install through here. So I'm going to press the down arrow on my remote. First application I want to get is the most recent stable release of Surfshark. This is always pointing to the latest and greatest from Surfshark. So I'm going to click the download button. Now when you first go to download something through Downloader, you're going to see this. You want to go into Settings, and you want to turn on Unknown Apps for Downloader. Once you do that, you should see the install screen for whatever app you're trying to install through the Troy Point Toolbox. So I'm going to click Install. And we want to delete the installation file. There's no need to leave these APK files on the device. Delete and delete again. I'm going to press the down arrow on my remote. Next, I want to download and install the most recent stable release of this popular media center. Again, I'm going to click Done and delete the installation file. Now, I'm not going to get into installing secret streaming apps within this video, but I do have a free video that shows how to install the best secret app stores on your Android TV box or Fire TV device. To get my free secret app store guide, simply click the link in the video notes or scan this QR code with the camera app on your phone or tablet, input your email address, and the bonus video will be delivered to your inbox immediately. Okay, there's 2 more apps I want to install through the Troy Point Toolbox. I want to get the most recent release of Project Ivy Launcher. This is a third-party launcher I'm going to be setting up. And I also need Launcher Manager for Android TV. Now, very important, don't get the one right here for Fire TV. You want the one for Android TV. Okay, I've got everything that I need for this tutorial, so I'm going to go back to the home screen. Now, the next thing I want to do is set up Project Ivy third-party launcher. It's going to get rid of all this crap, all these different advertisements for streaming services that I'm never going to use. Now, in the past, you may remember me just going directly into Project Ivy on Android TV, going through the setup process, and it was set as my default launcher. Unfortunately, with this device, there is a problem with that. Yes, the application is working, but unfortunately, when you press the home button on the remote, it still comes back to the Google TV interface. And that's why we need Launcher Manager. Now, a future update for Project Ivy will probably fix this as well, but for now, I'm going to use Launcher Manager. And all I need to do is click Enable Custom Launcher. You're going to see this here. You want to put a check mark in the box that says Always Allow from this computer, and then hit Allow. And you're going to see there it says Current Launcher, Project Ivy Launcher. Now I'm going to press the home button on my remote, and you're going to see it opens Project Ivy. Right arrow on the directional pad on the remote. We'll cycle through these different screens. When you see this, go ahead and click Allow. Grant notification access in special permissions. I'm going to choose Yes for this. And now it opens this screen here. You want to turn on notification access for Project Ivy Launcher. Back button. Allow anonymous usage and crash reporting. I usually don't do that. And now I'm going to click Get Started. Our launcher has loaded. You're going to see a note at the bottom. Consider enabling Project Ivy Accessibility Service. So I'm going to go up, click the gear icon, go into Project Ivy Launcher Settings, go into General. Now this setting here works on most Android TV devices, and that's why you don't need Launcher Manager. So in the future, there may be a Project Ivy update where all you need to do is come in here, turn this on, and you won't need Launcher Manager. So for now, I'm just going to leave that on. Back button, Accessibility Service, show accessibility settings, yes. Move down, choose Project Ivy Launcher, enable, click OK, and you will see here again, this is another problem right now with Project Ivy. This will not enable. And the reason I'm showing you this is, again, hopefully an update comes out for Project Ivy where in the future this will work and you can come in here and enable this. However, this will not keep the launcher from working. Everything will still work the way it should. Now, since we can't turn accessibility settings on, you're still going to see a reminder always popping up at the bottom of the screen. To get rid of that, come down here and just turn it off. Okay, really quick, I'm going to show you that there is a favorites category in here, and I do want to add a few apps to that category. I'm going to take Surfshark, highlight it, hold down on the OK button of my remote for a few seconds. I'm going to choose Move to Favorites. And once you do that, you're going to notice a Favorites section appears at the top. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple other applications to the favorites. Our Media Center application here. And Downloader. And then you can always come up here and rearrange these if you'd like. All you need to do is highlight the app you want to move. Hold down on the OK button of the remote for a few seconds. Reorder. Click the OK button where you want to drop it into place. And then on the left here, you can also get rid of some of these rows if you don't want them. A lot of these I do get rid of because you can access these through settings. So I'm going to get rid of this here, display, hit the left arrow on my remote, left again, click the gear icon, hit the visible tab, and that will get rid of it. And I'm going to do that for some of these other ones as well. A lot of these I would never click, so there's no need to have these visible on the launcher. And you can always go back into Project Ivy settings and re-enable those if you would like. And then if you ever want to get back to your actual Android TV settings, you can do that by simply clicking this gear icon here, or go up to the top, click the gear icon, go to Android settings. That will take you to the same location. And there's all kinds of different things you can do with Project Ivy. I will be coming out with a new video soon that goes through a lot more instruction for this awesome application. Now, while we're in here, I do want to show you something very important that comes with the Onn 4K Plus Android TV streaming device. If you go into Amlogic additional settings, there's a few things in here that we can get to that we can't through the default settings for the actual box. Display, screen position, you can calibrate your screen here. Some people notice that when they start using this box, there may be some overlapping borders in the corners, top and bottom. You can use this here to zoom out or zoom in. If you're using a fairly new TV, you shouldn't have to touch this, but this is available if you need to calibrate your screen. Now, the new chip in the Onn 4K Plus comes with AI upscaling abilities, but again, there's nothing in the default settings of the box to manipulate those. We are seeing a hint of those within the Project Ivy additional Amlogic settings, and I'll show you those here And the main reason I'm showing you these now is maybe there will be an update to Project Ivy, or these settings will be introduced through an update to the default settings within the actual box itself. This doesn't work really well right now, but I do want to show you here. If you go into AIPQ, you can see here you can change the power of the upscaling. Go to demo, turn on demo. You'll see there's a split screen there, and then you can show the upscaling either on the right or on the left. And then you can compare while watching a movie or TV show. Now, the problem is this here does not stay where you set it. So when I back out of this, go back in, it's back to low. So not sure really if this does anything for you, but I just want to mention that it is there in case there are updates in the future that fix it. And then another nice feature within this area are the custom settings, where you can adjust the brightness, contrast, saturation, sharpness, and hue. Usually you would manipulate these on the TV itself. However, this is another one of those settings that you can use through Project Ivy that aren't available within the official settings of the box itself. Now, depending on updates that have been issued, one thing that you may notice is that once you enable Project Ivy, you need to reconnect your Wi-Fi network. And that's the case with me right now. I know that I no longer have internet connection, so I'm going to go into settings, Android settings, network and internet, and reconnect my Wi-Fi. Okay, now I'm going to set up Surfshark VPN. Now you do need a Surfshark VPN account to use this. I do have a huge discount link in the video notes below, or you can scan this QR code with the camera app on your phone or tablet on the left side of the screen here. That will take you to the discount as well. There's two ways in which you can log in. You can log in with the email address and password that you used to register for your account with. That's what I'm going to do. Or you can hit the enter login code button, bottom left side of the screen. And then if you're already logged into Surfshark on another device, you can go into settings on that device, go to account, and then type in the code they give you here on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and log in now. Okay, I'm logged into Surfshark. Now the only change I make is I move over, click settings, VPN settings, and I want to enable kill switch. Now what this will do is if for any reason the VPN were to stop working, application stops working, whatever the case may be, it will terminate the internet connection on this device to ensure that I'm not broadcasting my IP address. So kill switch is turned on. I'm just going to move over and click quick connect. First time you connect to a VPN, you're going to see this. Click OK. And now you're going to see in the green box it says connected, and they have issued me an anonymous IP address. So now I can use my free streaming apps and services anonymously. Okay, I'm going to hit the home button on my remote. The VPN will remain running in the background. Now, something cool about the Project Ivy launcher, you're also going to notice here at the top, whenever you're connected to VPN, you're going to see this key. And then you'll notice in the notifications here as well, it says VPN is connected. Okay, now it's time to get to the remote control. Okay, you're going to notice there's a star button top right-hand corner of the remote control. I'm going to go ahead and hold down on that for a few seconds. You're going to notice nothing happens. And that's because we are using a third-party launcher. And that's also the reason I installed TV Quick Actions Pro. I'm going to use this instead to remap the various buttons on my remote to my liking. So I'm going to open that, click continue, go through all of these. I want to click allow here. Allow display over other apps. We want to turn on TV Quick Actions Pro for this setting. Back button, click continue, usage access. We don't need to worry about this. Click Not Now, and we don't need to worry about this either. Click Agree for Start Accessibility Service. And now we want to go into Accessibility, move down, and turn on TV Quick Actions Pro, enable, and then OK. Back button a few times until we're back to the application. Okay, now let's go ahead and set up some of these buttons. I'm going to go into Buttons and Actions, move down, click Add Button, and now it says Press Needed Button. I'm going to press the star button, and you'll see there it says Current Button Macro 1. Now I'm going to move down and click Button Action Type. There's two different types of buttons you can use. You can use a panel where a menu will pop up with additional buttons, or you can use the usual action that gives you multiple options for a button press. And that's what I'm going to do in this tutorial. And you're going to see here we have different things that we can assign for this button: single press, double press, long press. For now, I'm just going to set up single press. So I'm going to choose that. And I want to open Surfshark VPN with that single press of the star button. Now, if you have other applications that you want to open with that star button, you can use these options as well, double press or long press. So let's test this out. I'm going to go back to the home screen, click the star button on the remote, and you'll see Surfshark VPN opens immediately. Okay, back into TV Quick Actions Pro. Now, on this Onn 4K Plus remote, there's a big blue free TV button. I don't want that going to those crappy free TV channels. I want it to open the Media Center application that I installed earlier. So I'm going to go back into Buttons and Actions, Add Button, press the free TV button, usual action, single press, and I'm going to choose the Media Center app. And again, if you'd like to, you can also set double press or long press for the same button, and that will open different apps. We'll test this. Click the free TV button, and it opens the Media Center application. And the last thing I want to show you is how to enable mouse toggle with this remote. Now, mouse toggle will allow you to navigate applications that are meant for phones and tablets that you sideload onto this device. I personally use this for my security camera app that doesn't have an Android TV compliant application. So I use the mouse toggle to navigate that. There's all kinds of uses for mouse toggle, and we can use TV Quick Actions Pro to do that as well. Now, we have a mouse toggle application in our TroyPoint toolbox. However, that does not work with this new streaming device. So I'm going to go into TV Quick Actions Pro, Settings, ADB, and I want to turn on Use ADB for mouse. Click Always Allow from this computer, Allow. Now, while you're in here, you might also want to turn this on here if you want to remap the buttons at the bottom, such as YouTube, Netflix, Disney, and Paramount. For now, I'm going to leave this off, but this is important to turn on if you want to remap those buttons. Okay, I'm going to hit the back button a few times. Go to Buttons and Actions. I'm going to hit Add Button again. Now for this one, I'm going to use the guide button to the right of the home button since I never use that. So I'm going to press that. Button action type, usual action. Single press. I'm going to move over to feature at the top. choose cursor, hit the home button on my remote. We will test this. I'm going to go ahead and press the guide button. And now you're going to see my mouse pointer moving around the screen. I'm going to go ahead and click Downloader. Click it again. That will open it. You're going to see that it is working the way it should. Even though we don't need a mouse pointer for this application, I am just showing you that it does work as far as navigating these applications. And then I press the guide button again to get rid of the cursor. And then it goes back to D-pad or directional pad mode. Now, if you ever want to go back to the default Google TV launcher, what you want to do is go back into Launcher Manager and disable Custom Launcher. And you're going to do the same thing if you want to get rid of Project Ivy. You first want to disable the Custom Launcher, uninstall Project Ivy, and then uninstall Launcher Manager. You must follow those steps or you could have problems getting into any type of user interface. So I'll show you what happens here. Disable Custom Launcher. You'll see it says current launcher is now Google TV, home button. We're back to the Google default launcher. And then if you did want to switch back, you just go back into Launcher Manager, enable Custom Launcher, and it just switches back. Home button, we're back to Project Ivy. Guys, be sure to take a look at the links that I've left in the video notes, as you will find additional information for everything that I covered in this video. Also, be sure to get my free secret app store guide that will show you how to take your streaming device to the next level. And really, that's the reason these devices are so popular. There are hundreds of secret apps we can install that aren't available in Google Play Store or Amazon App Store for Fire TV devices. Guys, thanks for watching this video. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos like this in the future. As always, have an awesome day, and thanks for following Troy Point.